Hey, good morning everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Taking Part in UK Road Safety Week 2016. I'm Ellie Pearson, Brakes Professional Engagement Manager, so I'm just going to talk you through a few bits before we hand over to our first speakers. So the aim of this webinar is to give you all some further information about why you should get involved in Road Safety Week and how to get the most from your involvement and really use it to engage staff and raise your profile in your local community. And as well as that, we'll be giving you some ideas on how you can get involved. So our three speakers today are all fleet operators who've run some really great staff and community engagement initiatives in previous Road Safety Weeks. Before we begin, I just have a couple of housekeeping rules to share with you. So hopefully you can all hear this presentation either through your computer or your phone, and you can see our slides on your computer screen. During presentations, the audience is muted, so you don't need to worry about any background noise that you make being audible to other people on the webinar. We'll take questions after each presentation, so if you do have a question for any of our speakers, you can press the raise hand button, which you should be able to see on your control panel, and we'll then come to you at the end of that speaker's presentation, and you can put your question to the speaker. Alternatively, you can type your question into the chat box during the presentation, and we'll put your question to the speaker for you at the end of their presentation. So we'll now begin with a quick introduction to BRAKE, Road Safety Week, and this year's Road Safety Week theme before I hand over to our first speaker. So BRAKE is the UK's national road safety charity, founded in 1995. We also recently founded BRAKE New Zealand. So although we only operate in the UK, New Zealand, many of the projects we run are global and globally accessible, and we are increasingly starting to work with partners around the globe. As a charity, we have two main aims. The first one you can already see on your screen, which is to provide support for victims of road crashes. So in the UK, we run a helpline providing support and advice to people who've been bereaved and seriously injured on the roads. We also work very closely with the police and other support professionals to help them support road crash victims. Our second aim is to prevent road crashes and raise road safety awareness. So we do this through public awareness campaigns and parliamentary engagement activities. We also run projects to raise awareness of road safety in schools and communities, and we often partner with companies to run awareness-raising road safety activities in schools. So that can be a really great way for you to get involved in Road Safety Week if you are looking to do something more community-focused. And finally, we run BRAKE Professional, which is a low-cost membership scheme sharing fleet safety best practice among fleet operators, suppliers, and the wider industry. So through BRAKE Professional, we deliver a calendar of training events and also resources to support you as fleet operators. And then finally, just some final background on the charity. So this is some information about our charitable funding. As you can see, we're still a fairly small charity in terms of our funding levels, but we are doing a lot of really great engagement work across the UK by working with partners such as yourselves. And again, you can see that the majority of our income is actually reinvested into our road safety activity work. So in terms of that road safety activity work, Road Safety Week is one of our biggest and most successful projects. So Road Safety Week has been going for almost 20 years now. It's the UK's biggest road safety event, and we coordinate it annually. Thousands of schools, organisations and communities take part in the week each year, running a variety of activities. This year's Road Safety Week date, as you can see on your screen there, is the 21st to 27th of November, so you've got a few months to start planning your activities with our support. Each year, Road Safety Week focuses on a different theme. So this year's theme is the BRAKE Pledge. You can see our logo on screen there. The Pledge is our flagship road safety awareness campaign, and it focuses on 6 key aspects of road safety. So firstly, SLEVs. So you can see there a statistic about why the slow top is important. Speed is a factor in many crashes. So in our slow pledge, we are asking drivers to think about their speed around residential areas, about keeping safe distances behind other drivers, and driving at appropriate speed for the road and always within the speed limit. Our next topic is sober. So again, you can see there a statistic about why it's so important that we cover this topic. Our sober pledge is really simple. We ask drivers never to drive after drinking any alcohol or taking drugs. And one of the key messages that we want to get across to drivers there is about morning after drink driving and the length of time that alcohol can stay in your system, and also the fact that even very small levels of alcohol can affect your ability to drive safely. Next pledge is secure. So again, you can see there a statistic about seatbelts, although secure is about much more than that. The secure pledge also looks at vehicle maintenance and load security, as well as in a more community format, things like making sure children are safely secured in the vehicle. Silent, so mobile phones have been in the news a lot this week because people are still using handheld phones. For us, we go one step further than that, and we also campaign and inform people about the dangers of even using hands-free phones at the wheel. So again, you can see there our silent pledge is about awareness and always focusing on the road when you're driving. So next up we have sharp. So our sharp pledge is about driver eyesight, so making sure your eyes are in good condition, wearing glasses if you need them, and also driver fatigue. So when you're planning routes, thinking about giving your drivers regular rest breaks, informing them about conditions such as sleep apnea and the importance of being well rested so that you can concentrate on your driving. And our final pledge topic is sustainable. So with this pledge, we talk about things like minimising the amount you drive, whether that's through teleconferencing, whether it's through just more efficient route planning, and again, thinking about route planning in terms of not driving through residential areas at busy times, and conveying those messages to your drivers. So those are the 6 topics that we cover in the pledge. So the question is, how does that apply to Road Safety Week and you? For Road Safety Week, you can choose to run activities linked to the pledge at the Hull. So we've got lots of organisations this year who are running pledge training sessions with their drivers, using our pledge resources to educate their drivers on all 6 topics. Alternatively, you can focus on any of the 6 individual topics. So if you were launching a new speed policy in your organisation, or if you thought you had a problem with phone use at the wheel, it's a really great way to have a launch platform for some internal engagement activities with your drivers. So you can choose to run those internal activities engaging drivers and staff. You can also use the week as an opportunity to engage with customers, clients and supply chains, which I think Tracy Fuller from Arval will touch on as part of her presentation. Or you can choose to run community activities. So lots of our fleets and companies during Road Safety Week choose to go out into local schools and colleges and work with children and young people to raise road safety awareness. So they're just a few ideas about the different things you can do.
Okay, hello and good morning to you all. I'm going to start with a brief introduction to Morrison Utility Services, or MUS as I'll refer to us as I go through the brief. A little bit about MUS. So MUS has been around for a while, having started business back in 1884, believe it or not, as Biggs Wall, growing into what now exists as Morrison Utility Services. Morrison currently employs around 5,000 people, of which just over half of them drive on company business. Now within that 2,500, we have a variety of different vehicle types, ranging from your standard company cars through to light commercial vehicles of a variety, and some very complicated heavy goods vehicles for some of the different clients that we have. As for me, my role is to change our business culture by ensuring that all of our employees think safe and drive safe, both at work and at home with their loved ones. My job title, if you like, is very long-winded, but it's the Road Risk and Green Fleet Manager. So where do we work? Well, We work with blue chip utility companies across the electricity, gas, rail, telecommunications and water sectors on the upgrade and maintenance of their infrastructure and networks, including electrical substations, water and gas pipes, electricity and telecommunication cables. Each day around 80% of our workforce operates in local communities, working hard to keep households warm, taps running and lights switched on. And with an operational footprint that covers the majority of the UK, the work we carry out equates to over 1 million street work excavations. So there's probably some household names, there's probably some company names there that you'll recognise. So whether we're undertaking essential gas works or mains replacements, responding to emergency incidents, or working in environmentally sensitive areas, our aim is always the same: to work safely, responsibly and sustainably. So why do we get involved with breaking their pledges? It's a good question. Well, Morrison are committed to the safety and well-being of all of their employees, much like most companies, and all those who come into contact with our business. Our mission statement, if you like, that we stand firmly behind is that there is nothing that we can do that is so important that we cannot find the time to do it safely. For several years, Morrisons has taken part in Breaks Road Safety Week, and in 2015 we raised our commitment and became corporate partners. Our corporate responsibility sets out 6 key areas of focus and isn't about acting charitably and being seen to do the right thing. It's about every business-led activity or initiative being the right thing to do. Because of our work activities, putting us amongst the heart of our communities, it's vital that we discuss and share the risks associated with the work activities that we undertake. Last year, Breaks Road Safety Week, we used to embrace our latest Children's Awareness DVD, starring our lovable character Jack. Jack brings to life these key messages that we wish to convey to the younger generation through short DVDs. There's a little picture of him there with his new bike. So some of the material that we used to help convey the message included posters that we put around the schools. There was little competitions that we used where there was sort of, can you tell me what parts of the bike were missing? You can see on the left there. And then there was, we called them Terry's teasers, Terry's the dog, just to make that clear. And then there was another piece where we'd spot the failings on the bike, so a pre-user check piece. We also branded some high-vis vests for the schools so that when they go on their little excursions, the children could be safe and be seen. And I think that was definitely one of my favourite brands. The logo, Look Out for Each Other, was an absolute winner. Schools loved it. So due to the size and geographical spread of our workforce, it's a necessity, it's a necessity to hold regular briefing sessions and discuss key aspects within the business. Sadly, we know that every week people are killed on our roads and many others are seriously injured in at-work road crashes. So raising awareness and coaching our staff on occupational road risk is critical. Last year we saw the beginning of a business-wide autumn and winter campaign where we set up camp at a selection of our depots. These visits involved mini health checks for employees, raising awareness of regular eyesight checks and the risks of sleep apnea, a focus presentation with some videos, both fun and serious, highlighting the risks of driving through the autumn and winter seasons. We also had a sober pledge carried out by our brake representative Mike, and I've highlighted him there so you can see which one he is. A very helpful chap. So the benefits it presented. For me, managing occupational road risk is without a doubt top of the agenda. Reducing collisions has a ripple effect worth its weight in gold, and these are some of the areas that ripple falls into. So pledge workshops are a fantastic way of targeting occupational road risk areas, and at MUS we will continue to raise awareness through these types of pledges. So Road Safety Week this year focuses on making the pledge, which is fantastic. And for us at Morrison, we've already made our choice of banner. We selected C. And our plan this year is to set up 3 key locations throughout the global footprint that we have, UK footprint, sorry. And we're going to hold different pledges on different days, and we'll just promote that within the business. And I will probably look to focus for us on the silent and sharp as a main topic, with doing sober and slow sort of throughout the winter months. So that pretty much concludes my presentation. Ellie?
Thank you very much, Lee. Just a couple of quick questions. I think you said you're going to focus on silent and sharp this year.
Yep.
Have you already got some activities planned out in terms of what you're going to do with drivers and kind of how you'll engage them with those messages?
Yeah, there's a fantastic advert that went out around the use of mobile phones. I did think about putting it in this presentation, but it was probably a few minutes too long, so I left it out. But there's with the change now in the law, now 6 points if you're caught using a mobile phone, and the fines going up. It's key for us to sort of portray the message and make sure all of our operatives understand that it's an absolute no, silent use. And sharp has always been a fantastic one in terms of raising awareness about collisions as well.
No, that's really, really useful. And how did your drivers respond in terms of what you did last year? And obviously you mentioned Mike came out and ran some activities with you. What sort of response did you feel you got from the drivers to those messages, and how much they took them on board and engaged with it?
Yeah, good question. I think a lot of what we did sort of struck quite hard. The videos that you have are very powerful, and I think for a lot of the lads, the initial thought, I think, is, if I can be so bold, a very male sort of statement, in so much as that we think it will never happen to us. It's kind of like guys are always afraid to go to the doctors, or they think, I'll be all right, a couple of paracetamol or what it might be. But I think the video sort of really brought it home, and we absolutely saw a change in our actual collision frequencies. So our performance, if you like, in terms of statistics, has seen an improvement. We normally see it increase in terms of collisions around 2.5 times through the autumn and winter, just purely because of the weather conditions. But people are tired and there's fatigue because it's long, dark days, and we actually saw a change. So it's fantastic. I think I couldn't promote that more if I could try.
No, that's really great. Thank you, Lee. And just to piggyback on back to what Lee said there, so Lee mentioned some pledge videos which we have. They are freely available, so if any of you want us to send links through to those after today's webinar, you can just email professional@brake.org.uk and we can send you those videos. So those are people who have lost someone or been seriously injured in a road crash, talking about what happened and the impact it's had on them and their family and their life. We are also filming some new videos for this year's Road Safety Week, so we will have some new video resources available as well, which we will share with you. Okay, thank you very much, Lee. I am now going to hand over to Tracy.
Thanks for the presentation by Lee, that was great. And I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about what we do at Argyle and have done for over 10 years in terms of promoting Road Safety Week and really engaging our employees. So my first slide talks about what we did last year. The theme for Road Safety Week was Drive Less, Live More. And we spoke to Brake about the messages in here. And actually we decided to tailor the messages to Road Safety Week. So we decided to really engage our employees with the fundraising activity in Road Safety Week. So the Drive Less, Live More theme was all about reducing journeys, travelling safely alternatively, and we tailored a lot of our messages to vulnerable road users, pedestrians and cyclists. Now, unfortunately for us in our local community last year, at my daughter's school, we lost a young lad called Dan. That's the picture that you can see in front of you. Dan had a tragic accident on his bicycle whilst out cycling with his family, and he lost his life. So this had quite a big impact on us personally, in our community, and within my daughter's school. and over the course of a few months following his death, the family got very involved in Break and launched a campaign called Doing It for Dan, linking fundraising, all the proceeds to go to Break. And the theme was basically asking people to get out and run 5K, walk 5K, cycle, do it safely, all in Dan's memory. So we partnered with Dan's family on our initiative, and I'll come on to talk about that in a little while. So in terms of engaging our employees, the next slide will show you some of the resources that we produced. So we put up lots of posters that we designed ourselves with safety tips. We did a newsletter for all employees talking about fatalities, ways in which they can keep themselves safe, and we displayed these around our building. And over the course of Road Safety Week, we sent a message out every day, and we ran competitions and quizzes for people to engage in, looking at things on our posters, things in our newsletters, and responding back through a quiz and a competition. On the next slide, you'll also see a picture of our new video that we produced, which is available on YouTube, so you can all go to it and use this in Road Safety Week if you'd like. And it's just got some simple safety messages that everybody can apply whilst on the road to help keep themselves safe. So we played this film around the building and had people dropping in to collect information on safe cycle routes. We worked with a local road safety team who came in with their sustainable travel team and gave out information about cycle safety, bike maintenance, lots of advice along those lines. So the next slide links to the fundraising element for Bake. So we launched a cake baking competition with a road safety theme and asked people to bake cakes, donate, and we ran a big bake sale. You can see some of my attempts, certainly the big chocolate one on the left-hand side. We had lots of fun with this, and so we had some great participation, and we were obviously able to raise a lot of funds for Break in the process. The next page will show you the image of Dan's mum there, Helen, and myself. We organised a big run at Arval where lots of people came out, paid some money. We ran 5K in Dan's memory, and were able to do lots of promotion around how to keep safe on the roads. So for us, it's been a long-running campaign, Road Safety Week. We don't just do road safety during that week of the year. We're always running initiatives, education programs. Ellie may have said I'm a big ambassador of the Break Pledge, and this year I will be planning to run lots of pledge sessions for staff, and I'm also going to do one in the evening for friends and family for our employees to bring their loved ones in to also attend a Break Pledge session. So yeah, so any way that you can link the messaging to engaging employees in fundraising activities for me is a great success. I wish we didn't have a local tragedy to have really hammered home the message last year, but actually there are lots of messages that you can still tap into that will relate to your employees. So hopefully that's helpful. I'm ever so sorry about the technical problems, Ellie.
No problem at all, Tracy. Thank you so much for sharing that. The reason that we asked Tracy to speak today was obviously her activities and the work that Arval did was very much based around going out into communities and doing something in addition to occupational road risk management. So we just wanted to give you that flavour of Road Safety Week as well. Tracy, just before you go, is there anything kind of you would add similar to the question that we put to Lee, just in terms of the level of engagement that you saw from staff and how they responded to getting involved in Road Safety Week?
I think because we have a strong safe culture here at Arval, we've already got people's attention, and the Dan story was very personal and local to our office. So, as I said, unfortunately, we had more engagement than I've ever seen before. However, in previous years, because our theme has always been about making them safe and their families, and very much like Lee's messages, taking all of our advice home to your loved ones to help keep them safe on the roads, that's been our biggest success. I fully support the education process for driving at work drivers. However, we all use the roads. However we use the roads, we need to be educated to do them safely, and that's been our biggest message.
Thank you, Tracy, that's really helpful. So just to add as well, Tracy did mention that she's one of our pledge ambassadors, so she delivers Brakes pledge training for us. We do have one more pledge training course between now and Road Safety Week. That's on the 6th of October in central Birmingham. It's free to attend, so we only have a limited number of places at that course. But if any of you would like to attend, the aim of the training is to go through those 6 messages of the pledge in more detail, kind of nuances of some of the messaging, and also to share with you a wide range of resources that we've built up over the years. So some of the videos that Lee mentioned, some of our interactive resources, posters, guidances, to help you go away and implement the pledge in your organisation, whether that's looking at reviewing your existing policies or just taking away some additional resources and tools to help support and communicate those policies. So that pledge training course is for managers, driver trainers, and the idea is that it will prepare those people to go back to their organisation and really work on the pledge with those drivers. So we will send a link so that anyone who is interested in attending that pledge course can book on after today's webinar, and as I mentioned, that one is free to attend. So I am now going to hand over to our final speaker, Carl. Carl?
Hello.
Oh, we've got you, brilliant, we can hear you now, Carl.
Got me, yeah.
Carl is from Schneider Electric, so I am going to make Carl the presenter and take it from there, Carl.
Okay, wonderful. Sorry about the difficulties we've had with audio. Firstly, thank you to Ellie and the team at Brake for giving me the opportunity to discuss with you all a part of Schneider Electric's road safety message. My name is Carl Fletcher. I'm a health and safety specialist and have been working for Schneider Electric UK and Ireland for just over 6 years now. And part of my role here at Schneider is road safety. We have a fleet size of approximately 1,300 cars and around 300 commercial vehicles. So my role within road safety is to provide assessment for drivers, training and awareness to all employees, but not just those who drive for work. We do assessment and training for all drivers that commute to work and for all employees. A little bit about Schneider Electric globally. It's an energy management and automation company. We create connected technologies that reshape industries, transform cities and enrich lives. So our global team consists of approximately 20,000 sales and marketing professionals. There's 20,000 R&D software application engineers. There's 2,800 plus customer care team providing 24/7 support. And again, approximately about 100,000 industrialization team in over 200 factories close to you. And our community of millions of certified professionals and expert partners worldwide. We have revenues of approximately 26.6 billion, and we devote 5% of this revenue to R&D. Approximately, again, 160,000 employees in over 100 countries. Looking at 4 integrated and synergetic businesses. We have a buildings and partner infrastructure, we have an industry, an infrastructure business, and an IT business. The balanced geograph across the world, approximately 27% in North America, 18% in the rest of the world, 29% in Asia Pacific, and 26% in Western Europe. So just a brief overview of Schneider Electric globally. The reason we're here today, deploying a road safety message. I'm going to talk about the reasons why we deploy. I'm going to briefly talk about leadership and commitment, the planning of a successful program, and then sharing success. So reasons why we need a road safety program. We should all be aware of our financial, legal and moral safety duties. Financials can be repair costs and insurance. Our legal duty, road traffic legislation and regulations. But the key one, and the one that we look at, is the duty of care. It's more important about the duty of care for all employees, assessing their risks, providing training, resource and awareness. And as you can see from on the right hand side of the slide, one of many sources of information relating to road safety, the Department for Transport, our journey must continue. So, like Greg, we had an ambition and we wanted to create a pledge and get participation from all employees. We would challenge our employees to take a photo of yourself, making what we called the Arrive Alive pledge. We then asked employees to post this, sorry, just jumping the slide, on a Spice portal. We have a Spice portal similar to a Facebook, which is a Schneider Spice portal, including a hashtag Arrive Alive, and then importantly challenge 3 other colleagues to join you in promoting your pledge. Road safety and leadership. Leadership can affect morale, productivity, turnover, just to name a few areas. Leading from the front can install confidence. It can give confidence to deliver commitment. When leadership commits to a project, a campaign or a program, it shows an organisation a belief that something is important. If a whole group acts with determination and commitment, great numbers of people will really pay attention to what we're trying to do. We can then engage with our employees, engaging your audience and giving them the belief by helping others, we help ourselves grow. We can learn, we can stretch, and we can enjoy our efforts, our thoughts, and our lives. Share experience, and sharing your experience can help others to deliver. Now on the right hand side of the slide, I have got pictured there Tanuja Randeri, who is our UK and Ireland Zone President, and Andy Taylor, who is the UK and Ireland Health, Safety and Sustainability VP. And together, direct leadership. I'm hoping this is going to work. I have a video here to play you.
We will share a link so that you can watch Schneider's film in full after today's session, and then you'll be able to benefit.
Yeah, let me pause that, no problem. Apologies for anybody that couldn't pick up the video, and of course, yeah, I'll share this with Ellie after the presentation. What we're trying to look at, we're looking at leadership and leading from the top. So these 2 people are very important people within Schneider UK and Ireland. They're very busy, but they took the time out of their busy schedules to sit down and to discuss road safety, and eventually they come down to the road safety pledge and they make their own pledges. So it shows direct leadership. It shows that they're committed to a subject. They engaged with employees, but then they also, within the video, they shared their experiences of road safety, and then at the end of that they both made their road safety pledges. Communication is key. Effective communication is one of the most important life skills that we can learn. Try to be clear, try to be effective, use the resources available to you to communicate your message. So if you've got newsletters, if you've got meetings that go on, if you've got toolbox talks, you can use emails. I mentioned before, we've got a similar portal to Facebook. It's called Spice. It's available to all global employees. And again, I think there's about 120,000 members on this Spice portal. So when we want to communicate something, it's a perfect tool to get that communication out. Maintain the momentum. Keep the awareness real, keep it live. Reach out to those employees who have not taken part. And one of the things we have to be careful of is that, yes, we know that a lot of people have email access and complete emails, but some people who work in logistics, in warehouses, don't have emails, don't have access to that information. So we use our communication within toolbox talks, within sim meetings, so morning meetings, within productions, within warehouses, and within warehouses. All this helps to continually improve and drive forward the messages that we want to create. And don't be afraid, end of the day, to celebrate and share your success. So success builds success. If we look at strategy and planning, we have an ambition. We know what we want to achieve. We've created policy. We've created awareness. We've created documents. We have the commitment from leadership. We've communicated through the various sources available to us. We've implemented, and then we monitor. We maintain that momentum. And a lot of it comes through a health and safety phrase: the plan, the do, the check, and the act. And what we've done and what I've tried to explain to you here, the ambition, the policy, the commitment, the communications, the implementation, and the monitor, all comes around the plan, do, check, act philosophy. We talked about share and share success, and I mentioned about how to communicate to people who don't have the email resource. So we decided to do a pledge wall in 2 or 3 of our locations in the UK. The pledge wall was started by, again, another 2 key leaders within Schneider Electric UK. They made their pledges, and this was in a canteen. And the end result is that the community from the warehouse, the community from the logistics and the production team shared the initiative, made available their pledges, put their pledges on the walls, and it became a great success. The whole UK and Ireland health and safety team, again, dedicated their time to make their place to road safety. But the one thing we do in Schneider, it's not just about employees, it's about family, it's about the little ones, and it's about getting home and arriving alive. Another mosaic in another factory. Even to the extent some people use their own initiative, they built a little green car. We've got a gentleman there called Dave with the green hair that is always available for our road safety initiatives. He stays there, he advises, he gives on awareness, and this was a hazard perception module, and we made employees just come and have a sit down, have a look, and discuss road safety awareness. And again, we go back to the bigger community, the families. So we had things like drawing contests where we took initiatives home to the family and asked the children to design posters, and these posters then were made up into proper large displays around all Schneider UK and Ireland sites. So a summary, why do we need to do it? We've talked about getting that leadership commitment. Good leaders lead from the front, they show their commitment, they engage with employees, set your stall out, plan ahead, and again, let the success breed success. One of the last slides before I end my presentation, your driving affects more than just you. It affects your family, it affects your friends, and it affects your colleagues. So thank you, again, thank you Ellie and to Break for letting me spend some time with you. I will sort out the video. Please watch the video because it does show that leadership, it does show that commitment, and it does show the engagement with employees.
Thank you very much, Cal, and we'll get that video out to all of today's attendees straight after the webinar. I just wanted to reiterate one of Cal's points before I put questions to him, which is the point about communication, how important it is, to push your comms out through a range of different channels. So using social media, using toolbox talks, using intranet and staff letters. If your company still sends out paper paychecks, you can use those as an opportunity just to keep feeding that road safety message. And that's really important. And again, also keeping that message sustained throughout the year. So think of Road Safety Week as an opportunity to maybe launch or re-engage staff with your policies and road safety, but then think about sustaining that throughout the year. So what can you do after Road Safety Week to keep that message going? So for instance, we have 6 topics in our pledge. You could focus on each of those 6 topics on alternate months just to keep getting that messaging out there to your drivers, and that's really important. One of the questions we've got for you, Carl, is obviously you did a lot of work around kind of a social media approach, getting people to take the selfies and nominate other people to do it. How did you find staff engage with that compared to maybe more traditional, educational things like toolbox talks? Did people really come on board and enjoy that selfie approach?
Yeah, and again, because they saw leadership making these pledges, and then leaders challenging 3 other people, and those leaders then challenging 3 others, and challenging 3 others. It was like who could get the most challenges, who could get the most pledges. Within the UK, I think we have approximately now 77 Schneider sites, and there was a big competition about how many pledges, how many people took part, how many people organised different aspects, and I think it's just giving the employees something more to do. Instead of just handing them leaflets, handing them posters, watching videos, it made them feel part of a campaign, and it just promoted it really well.
That's really good. And again, we talk about, in terms of educating and engaging, we talk about positive peer pressure, which what Carl did is a great example of. So if an employee feels that everyone else is engaging in this pledge and everyone else is taking it seriously and getting involved, they're more likely to engage themselves. So something like what Carl did is a really great way to do that. So thank you once again, Carl, for speaking for us.
Thank you.
So again, Carl has just prompted me for Road Safety Week this year. We do have pledge boards that we'll be providing people with, either hard copy pledge boards that you can order, or just little message boards that people can print off and fill in themselves. And again, we kind of like to encourage you to encourage your drivers to engage, to make the pledge, to share the pledge through social media, and those pledge boards are a great way of doing it. So I would just, before I wrap up today's webinar, I would just like to say thank you to all of our speakers. So Tracy, Lee and Carl are all really engaged with Brake and do a lot of work with us, and all 3 of them are actually finalists at Brake's Fleet Safety Awards this year. So various road safety activities they've done throughout the year, some of which they've spoken to you about, but obviously they're doing far more than they've been able to cover in their presentations. So I just want to say thank you again for them for sharing that expertise with you, and hopefully they've given you a few ideas about what you can do in Road Safety Week. I would also just like to apologise again for the technical difficulties we've had with audio today, but hopefully you still found today's speakers useful once we've managed to get their presentations up for you. So next steps, to wrap it all up, Road Safety Week is the 21st to the 27th of November. If you visit roadsaftyeweek.org.uk, you can find out more about the theme, you can find out more about what other companies have done. So we have a page on there where we've just written up lots of different case studies, from people who've run bake sales to people who've gone in and run pledge courses with high school students, poster campaigns with primary school students, pledge workshops with all the drivers throughout the country. you can really see the range of different activities, the scale. So some people have done things on a global scale and engaged drivers from all over the world. Some smaller businesses have run bake sales or bright days with their staff to raise awareness. Anything you do is great, because this is an opportunity for us just to get key road safety messages out there, and you as a company and an employer have a really privileged position in being able to do that. So visit the website and you can find out a bit more about that. You can also register for your Road Safety Week action pack on the website. So that's free to register for. It's a free pack, and in there you will get access to some guidance reports that will tell you in a bit more detail, again, different ideas of what you can do during the week and how to go about doing them. So if you're thinking about doing some driver engagement work, our tips on making that successful. You also have access in those packs to the pledge boards that I mentioned, to posters that we're producing, twibbons, infographics, sliders that you can put on your website or your intranet. So it gives you access to all of the resources that will help to support your Road Safety Week activities. You can email the professional engagement team on professional@brake.org.uk. So if you're thinking that you would like to get involved but you're not quite sure how, or you'd like some more advice about running those activities, if you get in touch with us, we'll be happy to chat to you and offer some further support and advice on how you can get involved and make your activities successful. And finally, I think Lee mentioned that they have already chosen their banner designs for this year at Morrisons. You can see there our banner flyer. These are, again, a great way to demonstrate your company's support and engagement in Road Safety Week. It demonstrates that your company cares about road safety. They're giant banners. We can put your logo on them. You can choose from the banner designs that we have, so you can tailor the message for your drivers or your community. And we get them made up for you, but we can also help you with finding places to display them. So if you want to display a banner on site at one of your depots, that's absolutely fine. But if you're really keen to get a banner near a local school, or there's an area of your community that you think you'd really like to display a banner in, we can work with local council and schools to try and help achieve that for you. So again, banners are just another little thing that you can do to show that you're getting involved in Road Safety Week this year. That's it from us. We've finished slightly ahead of schedule. After the webinar, we will be sharing links to presentations. There will be a webinar recording available if you do want to share this recording with any of your colleagues. We will share Carl's video and just some key links to things like signing up to your action pack as well. So thank you very much for joining us today. Apologies for our technical difficulties, but hopefully you're all enthused and will go away and start thinking about how to get involved in Road Safety Week, and do get in touch with us if there's anything we can do to support you in that. Thank you very much.